Donald Trump's Justice Department is the most vindictive in history, and that has put a lot of innocent people in harm's way. I want to explain to you why. I'm Liz Oyer, former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. Last month, Trump's DOJ picked a fight with the American Bar Association. This is a nonpartisan organization of lawyers. Why should you care about that if you're not a lawyer? Here's why. The ABA has a program that provides legal support services for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. That program receives grant funding from the Department of Justice. In April, the ABA joined a lawsuit against the Trump administration. In retaliation for the ABA speaking out against the administration's attacks on the rule of law, the administration cut off over $2 million in grant funding for the ABA's programs in support of survivors of domestic violence. Fortunately, yesterday, a federal judge declared that this was illegal retaliation by the Trump administration for the ABA's exercise of protected First Amendment free speech rights. So the ABA has its funding back for now, but think about what type of Justice Department would place victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking in harm's way simply to settle a score with an organization of lawyers that it disagrees with. Very scary. I'll be keeping a close eye on how the Trump administration uses the Justice Department to settle political scores.
What is the basis of the cruelty that Donald Trump is brandishing on the world? Is cruelty what drives him? Is he using the cruelty that he has shown to undocumented immigrants as a weapon to terrorize anyone else who might consider immigrating to the United States? Perhaps in part, but this cruelty is well beyond that. I believe he derives pleasure out of seeing others suffer at his hand. He actually enjoys it. He enjoys having everyone fear a world recession or a world depression just because he can do it. He is intoxicated with his power, and those nearest to him have become intoxicated with his power as well. And this includes those religions that cozy up to him at the White House. The true purpose of the tariffs is the fear and cruelty he can brandish at his hand, as he falsely claims that every other nation in the world has pillaged and plundered America. Not true. A crystal clear lie whose simple purpose is to create hatred, fear, and invented blame and injustice. He enjoys seeing children fear for their future while he legislates against climate change, as these children fear a climate catastrophe in their future. He enjoys taking away the rights of trans, gays, Latinos, Muslims, Chinese, federal employees, children in Africa, whoever, while at the same time screaming freedom. Freedom for who? So to Trump, is cruelty the point? And the answer is yes. This cruelty is the signature of a psychopath, similar to the likes of Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy. These psychos were driven by their pleasure of seeing their victims die. Donald Trump is driven by the pleasure he derives by the cruelty he can hand out and the desire to have everyone in the world reliant on only his wishes, nothing else. There is not an ounce of love, an ounce of empathy, or remorse in this man. Only love of power, love of spreading hatred, love of seeking retribution for invented grievances and injustices. Psychopaths are the seeds from which grow the virus that is fascism. Let me repeat. Psychopaths are the seeds from which grow the virus that is fascism. A very dark cloud has settled over the land that is called the United States of America. The question is, will it survive?
Everybody's afraid of what's happening in this country right now with the Trump administration and wondering what we can do to take steps to safeguard our democracy, to put an end to this oligarchy and authoritarianism that is happening in the United States of America right now. So I would like to give a 3-step action plan that I think will make a world of difference. We are not powerless, and don't ever let them make you believe that we are. Step number 1. If you legally can, exercise your Second Amendment right immediately. 2A, all the way. Open carry, concealed carry, they track sales, they track all of that information, so it will let them know that sales are going up and increasing. The second step is to protest. And while you are protesting, you make sure that you go to your protest exercising your Second Amendment right. A massive show of the Second Amendment goes a long way. So that's the second action step that you can take. And the third most important action step that we can take as a nation to turn this ship around is a general United States labor strike. Historically, it only takes 4% of a country's population to go on a general labor strike to put these oligarchs and authoritarians in their place. Money talks, bullshit walks, especially in this day and age where these companies like Expedia and the airlines are now selling your information to ICE. Start looking into all these companies that are working in cahoots with the authoritarians and start boycotting them. Money is the number one issue, and a labor strike will address this. I know not everybody can participate in a labor strike, and that's fine, but the more, the better. And speaking on a labor strike, especially if you're undocumented in this country and you're working on these construction sites and you're working in hotels and you're working in kitchens, it is not even safe for you to be at work. It's funny how the Trump administration and the MAGA Republicans all told us that all of the immigrants that were coming in are just freeloaders and collecting all of this welfare. But now we see ICE in every other video going to construction sites, going to hotels, going to restaurants and rounding people up. They're going to the places where people actually work. So it turns out it was another big giant lie from MAGA and from the Republican Party that these people were just freeloaders. Well, if that's the case, why are you going to job sites to get them? I thought you were just arresting freeloading criminals. But there are steps we can take. You, as a United States citizen, you are not powerless. Don't ever let them make you think that you are powerless. We, the people, 340 million plus strong, have all of the cards. They only have the power that we allow them to have. And what's even greater is that we hold the purse strings. Decide with your dollars. Decide with your labor. And they will soon learn and recognize that they can't make it without you. Like, share, follow for more. Get this message out. This is Grim with Get the Rant, and I'll see you all in the next.
I don't believe I have ever seen a more humiliating Middle East visit by an American president than what we are seeing right now with President Donald Trump. Put aside for a moment that he sucked up to the brutal Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in a way I have never seen an American president do before. Desperate for his approval, smitten with his authoritarianism. We'll get to that in a moment. But Trump fell asleep. He, thankfully, he didn't faceplant onto the table. But here's Trump unable to stay awake in Saudi Arabia. Look at this.
Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution.
And there he goes. Oh my goodness. Trump is just asleep, struggling, his eyelids heavy. And there they go again. He just cannot stay awake during this thing. Oh boy. It wasn't just Donald Trump. Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, while Trump is speaking here, you will notice he's asleep.
The whole world watching when Saudi Arabia joins us, and you'll be greatly honoring me, and you'll be greatly honoring all of those people that have fought.
All right, so down goes Bessent, and then Marco Rubio is yawning. And to Rubio's credit, Rubio manages to stay awake, but he's fighting there.
Investments have been announced or are coming just since the election on November 5th. So think of that in a very short period of time.
Oh boy. So listen, I mean, everybody's bored and everybody's jet lagged, I guess, but this is naturally not the greatest sign of respect. And consider if this were President Biden. Just think about that for a moment. When people say, oh, I don't know if it's a big deal that like they all were sleeping through this thing. If this were Biden, the right-wing media machine would be in full DEFCON 1 moment. He's senile, he can't lead.
I made a video yesterday about the impending Medicaid cuts at the federal level of over $800 billion in a period of 10 years, and the fact that my Congressman Rob Whitman and my opponent and current delegate Amanda Batten are complicit with these pieces of legislation. Rob Whitman is voting yes on it, and Delegate Batten has not done anything to protect these programs at the state level as our delegate, knowing what was coming down the pipeline. Also, the fact that she voted against the most recent budget that did a lot of things for funding K through 12, our public sector, including officers and firefighters, etc. So today, I discover that we are also going to see over $200 billion in SNAP benefits disappear over the next 10 years as well. And as someone who has made my story very public, that I became dependent on SNAP, I needed EBT food when I was divorced back in 2014 into 2015, and that I lost that benefit even though I was working full time because I got a slight pay raise of $5,000 a year. I went from getting nearly $7,000 a year in food benefits from my state because of things like SNAP and losing it instantly because I got a $5,000 taxable income. I was at a deficit. My story is not an uncommon one. There are many single moms, which I was, that have become dependent on things like SNAP and Medicaid to take care of their family and keep them literally alive. And instead of caring for those most vulnerable citizens, instead of making sure that we can continue to elevate our situation, get a better job, garner a better education for outcomes for ourselves and our children, you were going to cut us off at the feet to give millions and billions of dollars to already the wealthiest of our class of people in this country. Make it make sense. And when you can't make it make sense, because it doesn't, make sure you vote. Make sure you're voting in your statewide elections this year in 2025, like here in Virginia and in New Jersey, and make sure you vote in 2026 because we are in trouble. Virginians are going to be in trouble if we do not have leadership from the top of the ticket down to protect these programs, to ensure that we are doing everything in our power within our budget to protect these programs and the most vulnerable citizens. And if you also can, donate, because we need to make a difference.
Now, breaking something and then fixing it doesn't make you a hero. Tanking the stock market by adding tariffs to every single country, scaring the shit out of everybody in the world, only to take them off and have everything kind of come back to where it was, doesn't make you a hero. It doesn't make you a leader. It doesn't make you good. We know that. We know that you cannot make money by being the president other than the salary. You cannot make additional money off of the presidency. We know this, yet you do. Hello, $400 million plane from the Qatari royal family, amongst much other. So he and his biatch Pam Bondi have said that if anybody's caught saying fuck Trump or calling him yam tits, they're gonna come get him. Well, fuck Trump. He has yam tits, and fuck Pam Bondi. Fuck Trump and his yam tits. Come get me. I'd like to be the martyr that starts the revolution. Come get me, bitch.
Remember when Republicans just worked themselves up into a frenzy trying to find a link between Hunter Biden's money that he got from Burisma and how that connected to Joe Biden? And they were like in a lather about it, and they had hearings about it, and there was no connection. There was all this evidence that was coming, but never showed up. But regardless if there was evidence or not, there was this just absolute obsession with it and how corrupt Joe Biden was. Remember that? It was announced today that Donald Trump is going to take possession of a plane from the Qatari government, like a $400 million plane, to be used as Air Force One. And nobody seems to have a problem with this. Initially, the reports were that the Qatari government was going to give this plane from the Qatari government to the U.S. government, that it wasn't really necessarily a direct gift to Trump. But later on, it was found out that they want to eventually donate this plane to Trump's presidential library, and that he'll have exclusive use of it. In what universe is this okay? Just imagine, like the Secret Service are calling this a security nightmare. Just imagine a foreign government giving you a plane where the President of the United States will be making very classified, exclusive conversations. And even if they rip the plane apart, the chances that they would find exactly the technology that could report back to the Qatari government what the President of the United States is doing. I mean, this is beyond anything that the Republicans could even make up about Joe Biden. But yet, the Republicans are silent about this. Now, this is, again, the game we like to play called Let's Be Intellectually Honest, which no one seems to be able to do anymore. To be critical thinkers. The bottom line is, whoever the president is, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, this would be incredibly wrong no matter who is the president. But what I want the Republicans to stop doing is stop telling us that they are America first. They are Donald Trump first. And if this goes through, I'm not surprised we have this signal gate where top ranking officials, cabinet officials are using an app that could easily be hacked by foreign governments. And now they're going to let the President of the United States fly around in this plane. God knows what kind of eavesdropping devices are on this thing. And everyone's okay with it? And now they're going to let the President of the United States fly around in this plane. God knows what kind of eavesdropping devices are on this thing. And everyone's okay with it? We're fastly approaching a major attack in this country. The way the security is going right now. It is unbelievable that this would even be considered. But what I want Republicans to stop doing is saying they are America first. They are Donald Trump first. And the corruption and the influence that Qatar is buying by giving this plane. There are reports now that Donald Trump is distancing himself from Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you know that the Qatari government gives millions of dollars to Hamas? That they're like the parents of Hamas? It is beyond unbelievable. So don't sit there telling me how much Hunter Biden had gotten from Burisma. And again, I want to be very clear. If there was an actual connection between Joe Biden and Burisma giving him all this money, I would be 100% against that as well. This isn't about Republican versus Democrat. See, I'm an American that wants what's best for this country. And this is just despicable. So don't come on here anymore and tell me how much the Democrats are corrupt. It is not even being there's not even pretend going on or any kind of denial. It's just flat out in your face, like most of the Donald Trump administration. They're not even going to pretend that they're racist. They're not racists. They're not going to pretend that the whole immigration thing is about immigration. They're not going to pretend that there's no foreign influence. Meanwhile, foreign countries are buying Trump's personal Bitcoin. Like, get out of here with this. The Democrats are corrupt. Man, I have never in my lifetime seen something as blatantly corrupt as what is going on here. And if they allow this plane to be used by the President of the United States, then we deserve everything that comes our way. We are being beyond stupid right now. So, think about that. And Republicans, don't even come near me with but what about Hunter Biden, Burisma? What about, you know what? You have lost all credibility. You lost a lot of credibility long before, but come on. Stop with that nonsense.
Believe me when I say the sun is downing. Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia is a whole mess. From saluting Saudi military officials, which is a blatant breach of United States protocol, to falling asleep, to then walking to the wrong table to sign the agreement. Now let's check this out.
You're not supposed to salute them. Can you imagine if Joe Biden breached U.S. presidential protocol like this? Wait for it, and out.
The Honorable Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Oh yeah, that's me. Hey, Pinecone, wrong table, other side of the room. You think anyone saw me fall asleep?
Papa definitely needs a
video.
MAGA, a few questions for you, and I know they're rhetorical before I even ask. I know you won't have the courage or the intellect to be able to answer them honestly, but here goes. I'm just going to put it out there anyway. So, first of all, what did you spend that Doge check, that $8,000 Doge check on? I'm just curious. How did that improve your life? I'm also curious as to how the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security is making your life better. And I know some of you are going to say, well, that didn't happen because the Democrats voted it down, which is pure propaganda. Bullshit. It never got into effect because it was never in the actual bill. It's all a bunch of lies. They lie to you on a constant basis, and you lick their asses and call it ice cream. You know, Trump is stealing as much money as he can. It is the most corrupt thing anyone has ever seen. He is outdoing Putin with his corruption. He is stealing money from every government agency he can. Meanwhile, he's also taking gifts, $400 million jumbo jets from other countries, and a golf course. I'm sure you probably didn't even hear about that. He got a golf course given to him, and you didn't hear about that because Fox News isn't going to tell you this shit, and you live in a Fox News bubble. He's also been pledged billions of dollars by these Arab nations that they were going to buy billions of dollars of his meme coin in the coming months, which is nothing more than money laundering. It's Trump's way of laundering money so he can receive money from other countries just under the table. They go buy his meme coin, goes in his pocket, it's all good. Meanwhile, he's telling you your kids can do without as many dolls this Christmas as they usually get. There it is. So basically, Trump is giving you the equivalent of let them eat cake. Now, I know you're in MAGA, so you don't get that reference because you don't know history. You especially don't know history of another country. But I'll clue you in a little bit. So this comes from Marie Antoinette, who was an aristocrat during the French Revolution. Now, she was told, somebody from the administration, somebody from the Senate, whatever, came to her and said, the peasants don't have enough to eat. They don't even have bread. They don't even have a crust of bread to eat. And her reaction was, if they don't have bread, let them eat cake, which is basically a giant fuck you. I have mine, fuck everybody else. Fuck the people we're supposed to be helping. Fuck them. And that's what Trump just told you. Your kids don't need those dolls. Your kids don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need that. You can live without Social Security. You can live without Medicare. You can live without traffic controllers. That was the other thing I just saw. The director of transportation, I forget his name, it starts with a D. They got rid of all the air traffic controllers. There's no safety in the air anymore. You gamble when you fly in a plane. So the director of transportation said he would not let his wife fly out of the Newark airport. And he said it wasn't a safety factor. It was because he needed her plane to fly. Fuck. These fuckers, oh my God. They will steal the pennies off of a dead man, off of a dead man's eyes. They do not care. They will steal pennies to be able to give tax breaks to their billionaire boys club. That's what's going down. And if you got out of that Fox bubble, you might know some of this shit. But yeah, those are my questions. What do you feel? What do you think and feel about Trump taking this plane, taking a golf course, taking billions in Dogecoin payments under the table? Meanwhile, he's telling you, fuck you, your kids don't need that many dolls. You're all for that? You're that much invested into this hate cult that you let somebody shit on you that bad? The $8,000 Doge check lie? The no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime? All those lies. He keeps spouting all these lies to you, and you lick his ass and call it ice cream while he's taking away your Medicare, your Social Security, everything you pay for in government is being taken, and you eat it up. Meanwhile, this fucker's gonna be a dictator. Answer me that question. You guys, your battle cry is all make America great again. Well, when was America ever a dictatorship or an autocracy? Actually, now it's becoming a kleptocracy. Look it up. Fucking MAGA idiots.